You know what it is. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Get established. Let's go.
What up, D?
You know what it is. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Get established. Let's go.
Good evening and welcome to the Get Established Show. I'm your man Big. I'm filling in for Shine today. It is his birthday, so happy birthday to Shine. We know you watching, baby. Shout out to the fellas we got up in the top corner. My man Chilla. We got D Jones in the bottom right. And we got our guy, Dion, No Flaws, Boom. Jumping in tonight to help us out. We'd like you guys to continue to follow us on the other outlets, Facebook, here on YouTube, Instagram, and on X. Also, you will see in the comments a link to come in if you have a live question or comment. We'd love to have you join us tonight to continue this conversation. And that's going to be science versus nature, which is the key to healing. Welcome to the Get Established Show. What's up, fellas?
What's going on, man?
Oh,
What's up,
Hey,
fellas? What's up?
It's been a while since I've been up here, but you know we in for Shine. Shine, happy birthday, brother.
Oh,
Happy birthday,
Shine.
Shine.
Hope you're enjoying it, sir. I'm gonna show you how to celebrate your birthday, sir.
That's what you call an inside joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. How was y'all weekend, man?
man, busy for me. I was traveling.
Oh man, a lot of people traveling this weekend. Chilla, what yours look like?
Just relaxing, man. Just relaxing, man. I ain't do nothing, man. Just sit back and relax, man.
Bi.
Okay.
Did a couple things, man. Had some family come in town. Was able to get out and see them up in Williamsburg and, you know, hang out, just catch up for a little bit. And I had to get back because, you know, it's time to get things right for the show because, you know, I've been out for a minute. A little dusty. I'm just a fill in. I'm a dusty fill in.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, I just chilled myself. Not too much. Long work week, so you know I kicked my feet up a little bit this weekend. I'm getting over this little sinus issue. The pollen is not as bad as it was, so you know it killed me at first, and I know there's a remedy for that. But we'll get into that later. Let's jump right into it. Science versus nature. The purpose of the show is to discuss the breakdown in the natural practices versus the modern medicine when it comes to healing. Let's jump right into the show. Dion, I'm going to throw a question your way. What are some typical factors that lead to illness?
Well, some of the main ones now are like definitely like nutrients and deficiencies and things like that. Because we just not getting it from the food like we used to. So you got things like that, lack of exercise, definitely things like parasites. that's the real contributing factor. I don't care if it's diabetes, high blood pressure, sickle cell anemia. It's a parasite attached to all of those different things that's labeled.
Let me ask you this. When you say we're not getting the nutrients from the food, do you think that's because of the way we're preparing the food, the way the food's being produced? We're eating too many GMOs. What do you think that's from?
Some of everything you just mentioned. Yeah, it's like really, we're not even as a whole, we're not even eating food anymore. We consuming chemicals, even topically on our skin. The stuff we put on our skin, the deodorants, like the commercial soaps, everything is just chemicals.
You know, that's crazy that you said it. I know there has been a rise in the last decade in breast cancer. And I know that they talked about women using deodorant has been a large cause of that. And I know that women like smell good and they like to use these different fragrances, but it's not.
We like them to smell good too.
Well, yeah, obviously that, but we want them to smell good and be healthy. We don't want them putting something on their body that could cause harm. And I think, you know, a lot of these things that these women are using, deodorants, conditioners, lotion, people don't even talk about the tampon that they use or even the pads that they use for their menstrual cycle. They don't even discuss that. And they're using these things not knowing that they're causing harm to their body. How do you feel about that?
Which one, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, this is the thing. Like I say, we live and I learn. A lot of times we go with a narrative where the commercial tells us or somebody tells us to use. We never have the tools or the resources to see really what these chemicals are. Just like Dion said, parasites. That's a big factor in a lot of the stuff that's going on today. And when you tell somebody that, majority of the people look at you crazy. I ain't got no parasite. I ain't no dog. I ain't this and that. But this is the illusion that they believe because the way the system is designed, man. And it's like I'm being blown. That's why we having this show because Dion even sent me some information on some stuff. It is a gentleman just doing some testing. He probably want to elaborate on that later, but just to see the things that he was testing and finding out these like parasites and eggs are on them is like phenomenal. It will blow your mind, and you be like, man, these people really trying to kill us. But putting this stuff on our skin because, like I say, our skin is one of our biggest organs. You know what I'm saying? We rubbing it. You don't realize this stuff is going into your skin and going into your blood. You don't realize the cause and effect that it's causing in the long term. It's just like we do something and we think because we smelling good or we're not messing up our lymph nodes or anything when we putting on deodorant. We're not going in here that's messing up our pores, and then you got some rash or some type skin disease or you got some highs breaking out. You don't even know where it's coming from, but the chemicals are toxic that we are putting in our skin. We're not paying this no attention when we're doing it because you're so used to just rubbing it on your skin. You're not looking up in the ingredients and going to a computer and dissecting every word and what it really means. If it got another name, if it's cyanide, is it this type poison? Is it something that can go in your skin and cause you to have liver failure or cause your prostate to be messed up or cause anything? We're not really testing none of this. All we going up to the nerd if somebody's getting rich and it smells good and we just rubbing it on our skin. So it's like, yeah, all this stuff is toxic. A lot of the stuff, unless it's coming from a natural resource or you using some natural stuff that's made without chemicals, yeah, we can put that on. It's a lot of people making shea butter now naturally and doing all this other stuff naturally, but most of the stuff that come out of stores has got chemicals in it.
Yeah,
that's true. One of the things that I think we had to, you know, they actually, I hate when we say they, but you know what I'm saying? The industry or the medical industry has deemed the skin as the largest organ.
That's true.
And right. And we don't really think about that, but you've got to think about what's going on with what happens. Your skin has the most exposure to the sun, exposure to water. When you take a shower, if you are nakedly taking a shower, which everyone is because you don't have clothes on when you're in the shower. But the reason I say that nakedly is because I use shower filters.
Right. You should. Everybody should.
Right. So I have a shower filter that goes between the pipe and my shower head, and then I have a shower filter inside of my shower head. So it's double filtered. So that amount of money, I mean, that amount of water, think about how much water that you take, even if they say what the speed shower is, where they say you can take a good shower within 3 minutes. Ain't nobody taking no 3-minute shower. But let's say you're in a shower and you got this water from an unreliable source that's not necessarily been purified or not being cleansed, and you're putting that on your largest organ that's going in all your pores every day. Sometimes some people take 2 or 3 showers a day, but if you take a shower in the morning, a shower at night, you're being exposed by whatever is in that water.
Yeah,
And I don't know if we having the fluoride conversation, but you know,
No, we getting that
want to
fluoride.
build.
I mean, yeah,
I want to
build
build
on
on that a little bit
Okay.
because my daughter, she's an environmentalist and she works for the county and she specializes in water. And that's one of the things, man. They don't tell you all the chlorine that they're dumping in this water. And what you said is key, Big, because a lot of people take multiple showers a day.
Right.
And they might not have these things in place. Now imagine the type of damage you're doing to your skin, which is your largest organ. And then on top of that, state to state, the water is different.
Yeah.
You know how you travel to other states and the water might seem harder than it is from the state you're from, and your skin might feel a little different after taking a shower. And we don't think about that. You might have a filter at home, but what happens when you veer out and you stay in a hotel or Airbnb and you're taking a shower? You don't think about those things. Right. And the amount of damage you're doing while you're on vacation, trying to have a good time with the family.
Right. That's a key point. Because I can tell you when I go down to Florida has a certain type of smell to their water. It really smells like sulfur. But I don't know if that's because of the water. That's, so many people down there use water softeners, but it doesn't smell good. I remember going to a Cracker Barrel and getting something to eat. And I was like, yeah, just bring me a water. And when I got the water, I was like, ugh, right? So I was like, what you got in the bottle? You got bottled water, you got this, you got that. And that's another thing, man. We talking about what's being bottled. We don't know what's in the bottled water. We really don't.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say that, man. I know, it's interesting enough that me and Chris growing up, our father had a well.
Yeah. And
he used that to water his lawn. We didn't use it in the house, but if you think about it, back in the day, that's what people had access to, well water.
Right.
Interesting enough, in a lot of states, they don't even allow you to use well water. You can't even dig a well.
Now you got to be out in the country.
Exactly. And we lived in the city, within city limits, we had wells.
Right.
But that is crazy, man.
One of the things you were talking about, and just talking about water, the average person doesn't even know that the water can affect them in any type form or like that. They don't realize, like you said, the chlorine. They don't realize there's fluoride in it. They don't realize the chemicals in the water, that when even taking a shower when their pores are open, or even when they drinking the water. Because now we got this massive, conscience not to drink tap water. Everybody want to drink out of a bottle. But the reason they're not drinking out the tap water, because now the tap water is supposed to have all these chemicals in it. But in their mind, they're not worrying about that same water, and they don't want to drink out the tap water no more. They still washing it on their body, and their pores are open. And even though you're not drinking it like this, it's still dissolving in your skin and through your cell and through your system. Because now you're not worried about the hot shower when you don't have a filter on, or trying to maximize, the toxins coming out the water by having a certain filter on. You're just taking a hot shower, and these chemicals are still getting in your body.
It's crazy. Something just came up. You can dig a well, but you must obtain a permit, and it costs about $17,000 just to have someone dig a well on your property. That's your property. And based on what I do for a living, I work in the medical field, and water is a big part of what I do. And the thing is, we have a RO system, a reverse osmosis water treatment system that we use to treat our patients. It's a good idea that everybody has this in their homes, but the cost alone to have this device in your home is crazy. Everybody can't afford that. So these are the things that people have in place to make sure that they are consuming the right type of water in their home. Yeah. But moving on, quick question, Chris. Are illnesses and diseases hereditary?
No, majority of them are not. The only thing, like we're gonna always say, the only thing hereditary, if you got diabetes, 9 times out of 10, you ate what your mama ate, and your mama ate what her grandmama ate or dad or whatever. It just passed on the way we eat. And if they eat a lot of sugary food, you'd probably do the same type cooking, eating the same sugary food. So it's like if you are eating a lot of sodium in your food and you season it the same way with all this pork and all this different stuff, the same thing goes on. You smashing a lot of salt, and then all of a sudden your pressure up. Oh my God, you going there, you running trying to figure out how you got high blood pressure. You got a lot of sodium in your body, as well as you got a lot of sugar in your body. You like yams with sugar. Some people put sugar in the potato salad. Some people put sugar in their grit. Some people put sugar in their rolls when they make it. Some people put sugar in everything. So it's like you wonder, is this stuff hereditary? The only thing hereditary is that you addicted to sugar, and now you got diabetes. That's the only thing hereditary.
Yeah. So basically, what
the
you're
habit.
saying is
basically, like Ro just said, the only thing hereditary is the habits.
So basically, the lifestyle is hereditary.
Right. That's what I was about to say,
because it's the lifestyle.
Right. It's not all food. It's the mental part, the trauma part. You see that stuff passed down from generation to generation with different families.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you think about it, let's talk about that for a little bit, because we all were taught to clean with certain products. We all were taught to shower with certain products. We all were taught to brush our teeth with certain products. And we come to find out later on, bleach is very toxic. Certain toothpaste are very toxic.
Yes.
Certain detergents are very toxic. But these are things that we grew up and that were embedded in us to use.
Right.
And that's crazy. We're finding out that a lot of these things are cancerous and they're causing diseases. And to your point, create parasites.
Absolutely.
See,
so
go ahead. I just want to say, like, even Big showing that a lot of people don't realize that the meats they are eating contain a lot of parasites. They're not even thinking or finding them in their mind when it's so many videos showing you can have salmon, they finding parasites. You can have beef, they finding parasites. You can have chicken, they having parasites. You can find pork, and you already know pork got parasites, no matter how good you cook it. They can't find them in their mind when they eating this food. They are digesting parasites, and these parasites lay mega eggs all the time. These people don't detox. I mean, if you find somebody grinning their teeth all the time, parasites. If you find your child, their tail is itching all the time, parasites. If you find somebody getting foggy mind all the time, I can't think clear, parasite. Parasites are so phenomenal in your body with diseases. If you got cancer, parasites. If you got AIDS, parasites. If you got diabetes, parasites. Every type disease, somehow a form of parasite is involved.
Well, you know what's crazy? There's a big rise in this anxiety with a lot of people. People are dealing with anxiety. And it's crazy that you say that, because I often find that when they're getting diagnosed with anxiety, even in modern day medicine, they're saying it's a lot to do with the diet.
Mm-hmm. Right. Let me just say,
sugar pretty much feeding all that stuff.
Like, right, the sugar, which
that's why it's so addictive.
But the cousin of cocaine.
Pretty much.
Cocaine's cousin is sugar, and we love it. One thing I like to say, just real quick, if you guys are watching the show, you want to make a comment, please do so in the chat, and we'll bring it up. If you want to come on live with a question or comment, there is a link in the description. I mean, in the comment field, just click that, and then we can come on and bring you up on the live stage. Go ahead, Dion. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, sugar, that's the main thing. What I find really ironic, when you got people that's going through cancer, no matter which stage, most of these doctors are not telling them they eat any different. So it's like, even the stuff they get them at the doctors or different hospitals or whatever, like, it's feeding the cancer. They don't tell them, like, yo, stay away from sugar. Like, do this, take this. Like, it's only the treatment part that they're gonna always pretty much say the same thing. But when it comes to the diet part, stuff to stay away from, they don't never say nothing about that.
Well, you know what's ironic? If you look at some of the sponsors for the National Cancer Society, a lot of those sponsors contribute to the disease.
Right.
That's what's crazy. And you think about, like, how can, let's just say, Newport the cigarette company, be a sponsor for the National Kidney Foundation. I mean, Cancer Foundation.
Right.
Like,
Hey,
that makes no sense.
You spend a lot of money, like they don't even care about that part. As long as you contributing to their funds, it's okay with them.
Let me ask you this.
It's all about money.
Let me ask y'all this. Do you think it's best for us just to jumpstart producing things on our own like our ancestors used to do?
Absolutely. And I know for the average person, they say, well, it's difficult, or I don't know nothing about gardening, or I stay in an apartment or a townhouse. But man, if you look at the things that people are doing now, I mean, you got people that's growing, cucumbers, all kind of vegetables, fruits, and flower pots. So like they say, if it's a will, there's a way. So
but this the thing, even with that question, man, it's just like you don't have a farm, you're not feeding these animals. If I was a madman and I had a bunch of crack and I need to get rid of my crack and I got cows and pigs and all that, and I want to say, like, I know the fairs are coming, I'm gonna go ahead and feed my cows and my pigs crack, and then I send them to the slaughterhouse. You think that's gonna affect the cows and pigs, and then you eating it, then you got addiction or something? We don't know what chemicals or what they're doing to this meat. All we know is we going to a store. We don't know if these animals that they're slaughtering got tumors, got cancer, got anything, got cysts on their body, are full of parasites. You don't know none of this. All you know is you going to the store and you grabbing some hamburger, you grabbing some chicken. And the crazy thing is a shortage of eggs, but it ain't a shortage of chicken wings, and it ain't a shortage of chickens. I mean, there's so much crazy stuff going on that we don't know what you're buying out the store. All you know is a labeled chicken. All you know is a label beef or roast beef or hamburger. You don't know what in the world you really are eating. We just assuming this is good food.
Right. Let's look at some of these signs of parasites. And Chris mentioned a few earlier. We got, things like acid reflux, gas, headaches, allergies, hair hunger. I don't know what that means. Maybe that's losing your hair. Anemia. And then you get some of the things that go with it, weight, fluid, diarrhea, eye floaters, acne, rash, eczema, dandruff, itchy, anything itchy, bad breath, bedwetting. Now that's something I didn't know. It's the first time I heard something like that, but it's saying that, on this form here that bedwetting could be because of some parasites.
Right. That's why you have a lot of, think about it. You have a lot of little kids that have that problem, but kids we played in the sandbox. Like everything they do, we did the same thing, and it's like the pool, everything contributes to parasites, especially like with little kids. They can get parasites quicker than anybody because little kids touch everything, put their hands in their mouth, so they just full of germs.
That's interesting, Dion. You said the pool. When people don't think about that, how toxic is a pool?
Think about the stuff people did in the pool. Think about the stuff people did in the pool.
Well, I'm not just talking about what people do in the pool. Think about the amount of chlorine that's in the pool. You jump in the pool, man, it take your eyes a minute to adjust to all that chlorine, man. That's crazy. And once again, not to harp on this, but your skin is the biggest organ.
Yeah.
You submerging yourself in toxicity.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Something else to really look into also, of course, the medical industry has always said immune system, but that don't really exist. Your lymphatic system is your immune system. 90% of your immune system is your gut. That's where your parasites love to breed at. So look how many people, that's going back to that list that Big was just talking about. Look how many people going through like digestion issues, acid reflux, diarrhea, constipation, like IBS, IBD, Crohn's disease, like all that stuff is parasites.
Anxiety, depression, PMS, all that.
And if you think about it, when you say anxiety and depression, look at the suicide rate. How it has increased.
Yeah, super.
We just had this athlete from LSU a couple of weeks ago committed suicide.
Right.
That's crazy. This dude is getting ready to get drafted into the NFL, guaranteed to get drafted.
Right.
And he kills himself.
Well, look at this. This slide, just for instance, this particular, not this one. Let me remove that. This slide here. You thought it was a food craving. It was parasites. So parasites have a way of controlling. You think when you riding past McDonald's that is you because you hungry. No, you something inside of you is telling you what they want.
Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead.
Crazy. You think about it like, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
I said that's the thing. Most people are hosts to these parasites. They really, I mean, people that got attitude, mood swings, violent nature, everything is going on. And I'm gonna tell you this: if you got a hard time stopping drinking alcohol, parasites gonna make it even harder. If you got a hard time stop smoking weed, parasites gonna make it harder. If you got a hard time smoking cigarettes and are you trying to stop, parasites gonna make it harder. No matter what drug you are taking, your parasites are in you. Just like they talk about when every time you stop and go back is all these demons. That's the parasites. Them parasites are just addicted to whatever you do to 100 times that you are. They even gonna make sure it's hard for you to stop anything you are trying to kick because they fiending off everything you doing. They fiending off the sugar. If you do cocaine, they fiending off. You do heroin, they fiending off it, which now is fentanyl. If they're fiending off alcohol, they fiending off it. If you're just like smoking weed and can't stop, they fiending off that too. Everything you doing that parasites are fiending with you.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring a full circle for y'all. I mean, you know, a lot of people might not be able to relate to what Chris is talking about when he's talking about substances, but everybody can relate to this. You ever went to the grocery store and you hadn't eaten anything? You get in there and them parasites go crazy. They want everything. You see some chips, you know, you want that. You see chocolate, you want that. You see some Oreos, you want that. It just goes crazy because now you showing the parasites we got all these choices and they want everything. Yeah. Oh, grab that. And then
the average person ain't got nothing but sugar in the cart when they're in the store. Nothing but sugar. You see ice cream, cookies, this and that, full of sugar, sodas, everything, man.
Because them parasites hollering, man. They done hit the lottery when you go to the grocery store.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you something else, like, because guilty. I gotta have me an icy. I set me an icy limit quota for the week. So I get 3 ices a week, just depending on what the day, and it's sugar. Yeah. It's basically sugar water with the flavor that I want.
I'm gonna bring a full circle for you. What is America's biggest addiction?
Sugar,
coffee, cream, and sugar, bro.
Yeah.
People wake up every day. They hit Dunkin' Donuts up. They hit Starbucks. They hit McDonald's. They gotta have that coffee, man. And how many creams of sugar you want? 2 or 3?
I done heard people say 6.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but see, that's why I tell people, even when it comes to herbs and people that's actually taking parasite, capsules and things like that, nothing wrong with it at all. But Chris can relate to this too. But I do a lot of herbal teas, and he can tell you, the colon herbs and the parasite herbs are the most disgusting herbs you will ever taste in your life. But the thing is, the parasites are little miniature replicas of us. So what do we love? Food that tastes great. Like we love that seasoning. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, them parasites just like us. So when they taste those nasty, bitter herbs that the Bible speak of and everything else, they going crazy. They like, man, we don't want this. They running away. So this is how you get rid of them and reset your taste buds.
So let me ask you this, Dion. How often should people do a detox?
So a detox, which basically is a full body detox, your blood, your gut, all your organs. The easiest way to remember is 4 times, like 1 for each season. So 4 times a year. And when it comes to a parasite, normally I would tell people twice a year. But considering how bad the food is, and that's even for the fruits and the vegetables that we get out of the store, I would say even more than 2 times a year. It's that bad now.
Wow, that's what's up. Hey, so let's change directions a little bit. Let me ask y'all this: how do you think medicine has become a business?
Man, free Ovid C. Y'all know what I'm saying. I'm Ovid C. Anytime, and this is just my belief, anytime somebody giving you free, when you watch, think about this. We don't watch a lot of gangster movies, all of us. I mean, just growing up, you done seen movies. And what they do, what Frank Lucas do in that movie that he played Denzel.
Oh,
He
yeah.
gave
that blue magic, baby. That blue magic.
Give him a tester,
as a
man.
sample.
Give him a tester, a sample.
Gave it to him out as a sample. And once you hooked, you hooked. But what's happening when you get hooked is it's the parasites grabbing on and wanting that. That's why they got, like Dion talked about the detox. There are detoxes that we should be doing just for our body and our food. But think about it. When people are addicted to certain things, whether it's alcohol or substance, some type of substance, and really all of us, most of us are addicted to a substance. That substance is called sugar.
Yeah.
But when you addicted to one of these, we'll call it illegal substances, your heroin, your cocaine, your alcohol, people that really can't shake it, like they just have no ability because the parasites have overtaken their control from that device. And that's why people with heroin, that's why they get so sick.
Right.
Because he got all these things inside of them that's fighting because of what they want. And they telling you, I want it. Give it to me. I want it. That's what it is. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
They get so sick they think they die.
No, that's true. That's true. I think the biggest thing for me to get back to medicine being a big business is a lot of times you go to the doctor and the doctor is telling you how you feel without even asking you how you feel. They're taking your blood pressure. They taking blood samples, and based on what you gave in when you go to the doctor, they have you fill this form out, and they ask you all these questions, and how you answer those questions is pretty much how they diagnose you. And a lot of times they're trying to tell you this is going on with you. And I always use my dad. I know you heard me on previous shows reference this. My dad went to the doctor a little over 3 years complaining about his sinuses. And the doctor kept telling him nothing was wrong. And he was persistent about telling his doctor he had something going on because he was having issues with his throat. So finally, after years of going to the doctor, they sent him to a specialist and he finds out he has cancer. My question is, why couldn't that have happened the first time he went? Instead of the doctor trying to tell him how he feels, my dad was telling the doctor what was going on. Why can't the doctors become partners instead of somebody that's giving advice about what's going on with you?
Let me say this. The doctors are partners. They just ain't ours. And
well, that is true.
And in their defense, let me just say this. That's the way they're being trained.
Yeah.
The way they're being trained is what is having them to do and prescribe certain things. And it's a financial incentive.
Right. That's 100% fact, because when I look at it, I shouldn't have pharmacists and doctors that I went to school for 8 years calling me, asking me how different parts of the body work. That shouldn't happen, but it lets me know. And they admit it. Like, we basically go to school to learn how to prescribe medicine and which medicines to prescribe. So,
but this is the thing, right, Dion. With you saying that, somehow it's become the gospel. Like, look, people live by the doctor's words. Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say this. You know what I'm saying? What we talking about right here is that they really not as they, like I say, they practicing. They're only practicing on the people who are there. We come in there in these offices thinking these doctors are experts. Most of them, all they do is type down your symptoms. They use a computer and it tells them basically what, diagnose you with something. And
they use GPT.
Yeah. I call them Dr. Mad Bloods myself, because they're in there looking all crazy, and the first thing they want to do is cut you open and see how much money and your insurance can take. A lot of times they don't know what the hell they are doing. And see, medicine, all they can do is treat you. They're not going to ever, I can't even say the cure word. They is not going to truly heal you. They can only treat you. That's all they know how to do is treat. In America, they do not cure nothing in the medical field. There's no such word. That word is very illegal. This is like somebody put out here $1 trillion business. They are not going to just help you get rid of something. This is all they're going to do is treat you. And see, like when you got high blood pressure, you stay a high blood pressure treatment forever, taking pills. They never giving you the solution to get off it. When you become a diabetic, they're not going to get you off of being a diabetic. You either going to get your toes and legs cut off and die. They're not going to cure this situation. They're going to set you up for life to get money. They are not going to fix you. Right. You got
to fix how they start when they start chopping, Chris. Tell them about it.
We just talking when they start chopping.
Once they start cutting, they'll never stop cutting until you almost.
They don't stop money. They make money. Put it like this: when we were little, and all this was in the 70s, the money making thing back then, all the kids my age had to get the tonsils cut out. Everybody had to get tonsils and get ice cream. Then it goes on a little bit into the 80s. You know what I'm saying? They want a little bit more money. All the women, all of a sudden, they start, let's feel for a lump. They want to cut out your breasts and all this and do all this. Next thing, you 30, you done got enough kids. You know what? Let's go do a hysterectomy. You know, they doing everything to get money. It's all about money. It's not about no natural healing or trying to reserve or keep anything in your body. All they want to do is take. And we just the guinea pigs. They making trillions of dollars off of cutting and just destroying your body and taking something out. God didn't create you to be cut open and snatch things out. God put herbs and all type things to heal your body. It's everything you're taking off your body. Somebody else is doing something herbs, taking some type of form of herb and healing their body, while the other person is getting butchered and cut up.
So, okay. All right, Chris, I like your energy. Let's go here. What led us to move away from these natural practices?
I'm gonna say, so you throwing me out there now. We're gonna just say it don't even matter. I really don't care. John D. Rockefeller, he changed the medical industry and changed everything with the medicine. I mean, anybody who's listening to me can go back and research this. Before him changing everything in the early 1900s all the way to 1920 something, it was holistic. Everybody did holistic. I don't care if you were black, Indian, Puerto Rican, white. All doctors did holistic healing. He destroyed that so he could capitalize and take petroleum and make it into medicine and all this different stuff. And then he started doing the vaccinations. He started making money off this. He became a trillionaire doing all this. And all the way to the day, the effects of what he's doing still running. He forced the schools to teach his doctrines. He forced anybody who was doing holistic, they would lose their license, they was discredit, all this. And right now, we up here telling you the holistic way is the right way. Most people gonna look at us like we crazy anyway because they're already doctrine. They are doctrine. We were born into a system that was lying to us. We was born into a system that taught us how to murder each other. We were born into a system that taught us how to eat and poison to get high blood pressure and stroke. We wasn't taught how to be healthy. We wasn't getting, and they changing up the structure of the food. Everything they doing is designed for cause and effect. They make us sick, and then they want to get you all up in the system, and then they're making money off you. They are making money off us, left foot and right foot. Every time you go to the doctor, it's a hustle. 9 times out of 10, if they diagnose you with cancer right now, what they do is shut the door and they sit around. You got a small window of time. We got to do this and do that. And people scared to death. You know what I'm saying? We need to go through the operation. We need to take you through chemo. We need to do radiation. Chemo. Come on. I'm going to say this one more time. Radiation. If I walk in a radiated field, what's going to happen to me? I might 9 times out of 10 get exposed to cancer. How can you kill something that caused something? If cancer is radiation caused cancer, how can it kill it? You telling me 1 minute it's killing my good cell and it's going to kill a bad cell, but then you're going to come back with a sob story and say they done spread it and we done did all we can do and now just let you rest? You are toxinating my body. My body ain't got nothing to fight for. You done killed the good cell. Now the parasites can live in radiation. The parasites can live in the chemo, which is nothing but unconcentrated acid. What you think gonna happen? Instead of you saying I'm extending my life, you are shortening my life. 9 times out of 10, the average person who's diagnosed with cancer, that goes through these hard treatments, when they go in, they look nice and healthy. By the time the treatment starts, they're looking all shriveled and burned up. And what's happening? them treatments are destroying your organs. Most people don't believe that. They don't know that. But what it's doing, the radiation and chemo is destroying your organs. Most of the people who die is not dying from the disease. They're dying from the organs being destroyed.
Yep, that's facts.
It's crazy. And we've actually seen it. You know, I remember once again when my dad was diagnosed with cancer, I reached out to him and I talked to Chris, and I was against him doing chemo and radiation, but they had pumped so much fear in him, he wanted to move forward with it. And my thing is, when I look at these cancer patients that go through chemo and radiation, like Chris said, you see them before the treatment, and then you see them after the treatment, you don't even recognize them. They lose their appetite.
Yeah.
A lot of them they don't even have the strength to stand up.
Yeah.
They become sick. They get blood clots. See, these are the things that people don't think about. But we believe in that doctor, man. If the doctor said it's the gospel.
Right. And I'm glad you said that too, Derek, because one of my pet peeves, man, I promise you. I heard that a lot this weekend because it was a pop-up. And so people came to the table. Man, you have so many people that say, hey, I need to know everything that's in that right there. And sometimes I got to catch myself because I ask them, like, do you ask your doctor that? And a lot of them will definitely lie right in your face and say, yeah, I asked my doctor everything. And this is how you get them every time. You say, well, do you still take medication? Yes, I take high blood pressure, man. I take this, I take. So you ain't researched nothing. Because, like, if you did, you wouldn't be taking it. It's like, but yeah, you're going to ask me what's inside some herbs, something that God made. And the sad part, what people don't realize, in all of those different, whether it's high blood pressure, the base thing will always be hawthorn bird. Something that God made, but they're going to give you 10% of that and 90% chemicals. And them 90% chemicals going to mess with your liver. It's going to mess with your kidneys. So now you got a whole nother problem that you got to go to them for. And that's what people don't understand. But if they really cared about you like people think they doctors do, they would give you 100% herbs. But they can't patent that.
Yeah, they can't make no money because it ain't patent. But I want to say this with you, man. To all you non-believers who listening to your silly doctors, name one time in history, one time since you've been on this planet Earth, name one time you ever heard somebody OD or die of taking some damn herbs. Smoking weed. How many people you know just die from smoking weed unless it's mixed now in these days with fentanyl? But I'm talking about growing up. Name one person you know OD'd on some weed. But now let's go back. If you've been taking such and such, you're allowed to have a lawsuit. Guess how many people die a year on taking pharmaceutical drugs your doctor prescribed? Yeah. Guess how many people get sick and have heart attacks or mess up their liver or mess up their kidney? Name one herb. For all you non-believers want to, well, is the herb good? Is the herb going to hold me? I don't see no recalls on news. Somebody tomorrow, it's a recall on all the herbs out here. Don't mess with dandelions. Don't mess with this here. Don't mess with that herb. It's been killing people.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. If somebody, let's just say a friend of yours was prescribed a blood pressure medication, right? And it brings their blood pressure down. And somebody else is prescribed that blood pressure medication. They may be like, Hattie Mae is on the same medication. Let me ask her how she feels. Well, we're giving this false information. We're out here spreading this false information about this medication. I'm not going to say false information. Let me rephrase that. We're spreading information about how the medication makes us feel in that moment. But it's not a consistent feeling, because anytime you take something and it makes you feel good for a little while, but then you have to wake up the next day and take something, it's not fixing the problem. It's putting a Band-Aid on the problem.
Right.
And so you're not fixing it. And then you're telling people, oh, it worked for me, but it didn't work because you're having to take it every day. So how did it work? Right. Well, go ahead, Dion.
Yeah, the thing is, people don't understand also, we bilateral people. So like most people, they stick their left arm out, the doctor check the blood pressure. What I try to tell people, a lot of this stuff is misdiagnosed. because you'll do your left arm. And people, anybody that don't believe, if you got a blood pressure machine at home, I dare you to do it. Put the blood pressure thing on your left arm. Take your blood pressure. It might be 130 over something. Check the other one. It might be 120 over 80. So, do you really have a high blood pressure?
And then this is the other thing. Depending on your ethnicity, you know your diagnosis is not going to be the same.
Yeah, because it's not even based off of us anyway. That's a bigger issue. Like we naturally have more salts and sugar in our body. So like our levels with everything are going to typically be higher. But they are basing it off a chart that they got, which really don't have a lot to do with us.
And that's true. That is true. So to bring this full circle, fellas, this is the question I want to ask. What are the keys to healing?
I would say, number one, do some form of exercise. I don't care, like, if it's nothing but just walking, do something that's going to make you sweat, because that's going to get your lymphatic system to going, get your lymph moving. That's going to get you the sweating on toxins out of the body. Like, drink plenty of water. Eat plenty of fruits, watery fruits. That's going to hydrate you and actually make you go to the bathroom and get these toxins out of your body. And just like I said, cleanse. Like, I mean, I know everybody not going to eat the same way. Some people ain't going to never give up pork and all of this other stuff. I get it. Like, you can't tell people how to eat. But I at least tell people, at least detox. Stop putting the same stuff over and over in your body without getting none of this stuff out.
I'm going to say, man, everything Dion said, 100. Like you said, exercise. Even if you can go to a gym, get in the sauna, let sweats a lot of the toxins out you, start doing a detox. I know it sounds crazy. Some people might be looking at us like we weird because they might not believe into parasites, but I promise you, everything we telling you on parasites is 100. Even when you find cancer, some people will tell you cancer and parasites are like identical twins. They can't even tell it different. Some people say cancer is parasites. I promise you, just start looking up parasites. The information is out there. They can't hide it no more. And the funny thing is, get out this Western medicine stuff, start going over other countries and just pull up the website. Listen to these doctors in the other country. Go over to Europe, go over to Thailand, go over to Japan, go to Africa. Listen to all these other people telling you. They're going to tell you this stuff is parasites. And all you got to do is, like you said, eat better, know what you're putting in your body, because now we are knowing the food is not what it used to be when we was growing up. This is a whole total different type food. The food we eating when we was young is totally different. A lot of times we need to get gardens, grow your own foods. Watch the water you get. You know, if you can get an alkaline machine, get alkaline. Study the waters you drink and start drinking water that got a terrible pH level, because all you're doing is putting acid in your body. A lot of water got a terrible pH level. And I mean, I don't care if it's tap, bottle, whatever. Research your water before you even drink it. Learn in water and bottles is not even good, because there's still toxins when it's in plastic. You need to get waters that's in glass, or buy you something like a copper thing that charges the water, and then get you some alkaline water put in it. You know, this is stuff that heals your body. We're doing so much stuff that's causing a lot of toxins. When you go outside, you look at the sky, they spraying out there. You never ask questions why they spraying. You don't know. You don't even ask questions why fruits ain't growing on the trees no more. When we were little, we had fruit trees everywhere. People could walk and pick up a pear, an apple, a plum. You saw wild grapes growing. See, they don't even question this no more. All of a sudden, you go outside, ain't no wild fruits no more. You got to watch something changing, and they doing stuff to destroy the land and destroy these trees from even dropping fruits, and we're not questioning. You got to put minerals in your body. Start getting stuff like sea moss, anything you can get to help your body put minerals in it. Learn how to eat certain fruits. Monitor your fruits. Try to get seeds, fruit with seeds. Fruit with seeds. That's very important. A lot of this stuff is like Frankenstein they're creating, GMO, everything. Things without seeds are not by the nature. I call nature God. Most people like the devil. They love the science. So they want stuff with not made by nature. They want things made by the devil. They want a seedless, just like they want humans seedless. They don't want us to produce. They want us seedless. See, it starts with fruits. Then it comes to us. They want us not to be able to bear fruit with one another. They want us to be seedless. You start eating seedless food and you become seedless. They are trying to do everything to exterminate us. So we got to be wise these days and times. Understand what's going on. These people ain't doing stuff to make you healthy. These people doing stuff to make us sick and destroy us.
Right. I would say we everyone mentioned water. Get you some filters for your shower. If you can do a whole house system, that's something to do. But the one thing you can do is try to hit it off at the biggest spot, and that's going to be that shower that you take, twice a day. So get your shower filter. Also, too, I use I got a hydrogen water bottle. It's made of glass. It gives you energy. I don't know what else it does, but I can tell you when you hit that button, it actually does give you some energy. And then also you should stretch. We talked about the sweating and the working out. You really have to stretch your muscles out, because then that way that's going to call for water to go to different parts of your body. And also that's going to increase the blood flow in your body as well. It's going to help you for when you get older, when you stretch and have your muscles to be limber. I always tell the people around my age, I turned 50 last year, and I said, always roll your ankles. When you're sitting there watching TV or you're on a computer, just pick them ankles up off the ground, get them off them heels, and rotate them. Rotate your hands. Sometimes while I'm moving around, I'm doing this. All of these things are vital to be able to continue to have dexterity in your body as we age, because nobody's getting any younger. We're only getting older, and you got to fight, atrophy. So I would say water. I would say stretching, filters. And then also to look up, and you can find this in different places, but breath work.
Yeah.
Look up breath work. There's ways that you can control your body and give yourself relief. Yeah. And you can also get your body worked up to expel and start to sweat, and also get toxins out of your body. Because one thing I was watching a TED Talk a few years back. And one thing that impressed me, that blew my mind, this guy showed that people think when you lose weight, you're losing it through the toilet, or you lose it in sweat. Most of the time when you lose your weight, it's coming from the exhale out of the air that comes out of your body. So there's some things to think about with that.
And I'm going to say, man, pay attention to your body. Your body will tell you everything you need to know. For instance, if you eat something, a lot of people be like, oh, I done ate, now I got the itis. No, that's a symptom. That's not the itis. Food shouldn't make you, the food we eat should make you sleepy. That's right. Itis. Think of what food is. Food should be energy. It should be fuel for the body. When you sit there and you eat to the point that you feel tired, that's a symptom.
Yeah.
Pay attention to it. Yeah. Research everything, because your life depends on it. If the doctor tells you something, don't be like, okay, I'm going to go get this prescription filled and I'm going to feel better. No, research it. If it's telling you that you got to take this medication and it's going to bring your blood pressure down, but it's going to create another symptom, then that might not be the medication for you. That should be telling you that something's wrong in that moment. You got to think. We need to think. We stop thinking unless other people start thinking for us. And we got to take that back. We got to start thinking. You got to go back and think about when you grew up with your grandmother or big mama and how they went about doing things. Because a lot of our ancestors used a holistic approach when they were healing. Think about it. If I got sick when I was little, my grandmother gave me some castor oil. That was one thing that she made me take. That straight up. She getting the castor oil and some lemon so I can keep it down.
A couple comments I'm gonna read. That's a great point, D. Great point. We got a long one from Vernice Jackson. Right, with high blood pressure, doctors say don't eat grapefruit before we ask for medication. Oh my God, she is so right. They give you, but grapefruit helps a lot of people. You learn that in the inner city, only plants male trees. I don't know, Bernice. It must be some mistypes, but she's right about the grapefruit. Grapefruit will help lower your blood pressure. And then we got a message from the birthday boy, Raymond Shine.
There it is.
He said some key that to stretch before exercising and always warm up. And I say warm up and cool down. Warm up, and especially if you older, you can't just be jumping down there doing stuff and not warming up and cooling down because you're gonna tear something up.
And before Dion gets into it, I want to say he brought this point up years ago when we did this show. Research what fruits to eat together.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because some fruits should be eaten together.
Yeah.
Also for Dion get in it, what the girl was saying, basically, Dion probably was gonna clear that up in a way about the trees, male and female, what's going on. We got a lot of male trees, and they like eliminating the females. But Dion, go ahead and finish it up, man.
Yeah. So one thing, like as far as the grapefruit, that's why they always gonna put that with high blood pressure medication, because that's one thing that, like you mentioned earlier, Dirk, like the thing is, it wouldn't be no high blood pressure if somebody. And I always wondered when I was little, I taste grapefruit, I hated it, but my grandmother ate them every morning, and she never had that issue ever. And it's like, and I realized it as this time went on and cases went on, I realized how low people blood pressure went down from eating grapefruit. So of course, if you eating something that's going to stabilize you're taking medication that's going to stabilize your blood pressure, then you take something that's going to bring it way down. So that's one of their money grabs right there. So they always say like, oh, don't never do that. It's going to interfere with the medication and all of that.
Instead of just eating the grapefruit.
Right.
Yeah. Could you give them a little bit about the mixing of fruit, what I just went over?
Yeah. So I tell people, so fruits digest faster than anything. So a lot of the issues we have is that, especially us at the picnics, the barbecues, we get our plates of ribs, macaroni and cheese, people frying fish. And then you had a little fruit tray over there to the side. And what people put on their plate? Some watermelon. Yeah. Something that actually digests faster than any food. And so basically that's going to rot on top of what you already ate that ain't even going to digest. So that's where a lot of your gut issues come in at. So even like with watermelon, you don't even want to mix that with other fruits. Like you really want to eat any kind of melons by themselves. And then your other fruits, you do them together. But yeah, you don't even supposed to mix other fruits with watermelon.
That's crazy. That's crazy. A lot of people didn't know that. Hey, Big, before we wrap up, do you have any suggestions as far as reading material for the audience, sir?
Can I drop this, because we didn't go for some of these parasite cleansers? Can we drop this real quick?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's put this up just so let me remove this other one here. Here we go. So these are some of the parasite destroyers that you might want to add. I know a lot of people like sunflower seeds, but let me just say they ain't on the list.
Yeah.
Pumpkin seeds are great. Clove, black walnut, wormwood, and oregano. Yeah, all those are great. They help kill parasites.
Yeah, and the thing is, with the where it go? With the clove, that's the most important thing, like as far as in a parasite cleanse, because that kills the eggs. You have some stuff like oregano and pumpkin seeds that actually kill certain worms and kill certain parasites, but they lay like 20,000 eggs nightly. Wow. That's why at nighttime a lot of people, they butt start itching, especially little kids and stuff. So that's why.
And like I said, grinning their teeth, that's a sign. You sleep, grin your teeth always grinding and stuff, grinding. That's parasites.
Yeah, that's even a lot of like itching, especially at nighttime. You see people just scratching
around your private parts, parasites. All that. You itching in all the time, parasites.
So y'all thought it was something else. It's actually parasites. How about
Hey, them little critters on them all parasites. Them little critters are parasites.
Also, that's key. We talked a lot about food today. Try to find you a local farmer or a local farmers market where you can get fresh grown, homegrown products. Well, food.
Right.
Homegrown food.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's one thing to consider as well. And yeah, there's some books I should recommend. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, it would be nice.
So we've got a couple books here that can help you while doing your research. And that's going to be the complete textbook of holistic self-diagnosis by Layla Africa. Again, that's the complete textbook of holistic self-diagnosis by Layla Africa. And you can rewind this because this will be on the page as soon as we close out tonight. Also, the Detox Miracle Source Book by Robert Morse, and that is Morse. The Detox Miracle Source Book by Robert Morse.
Cool. I appreciate y'all for joining us for this discussion. And remember this, don't let the parasites tell you what to do. When you go in the grocery store, ignore them. If you go there to get something, ignore them. And ladies, be careful of what you put on your skin as far as lotion, what you put up under your arm, deodorants, fellas too.
Perms.
All colognes aren't good.
Perms.
Different hair products. Hey, even what you put on your lips, that Carmex
and you man
might not be the
all
move.
that dye to keep you looking young, that dye.
And I will tell you this. Them acrylic nails or the gel or whatever y'all want to use. Hey, y'all better be. Hey, that stuff don't smell right, so you know something wrong with that.
And read your deodorant. If it says anything about aluminum, do not use it. Try to find you. I use natural soaps and natural deodorant. And let me tell you one thing just before we wrap. I know people complain because in the beginning, when you start using it, you've been using antiperspirant, you are going to sweat. You may not smell. You may smell, but you may not smell. But you are going to sweat until your body adapts to using the natural deodorant. So you got to give you some time.
The reason you smell is because that's the toxin, like the meats and all that stuff coming out your body, and all the stuff with the parasites with their little waste coming out you, and it's musky, is because you need a detox or go to a sauna and just cleanse your body. I promise you, after a week of not eating meat or 3 weeks of not eating meat, you won't even smell none of that.
And you'd be surprised what a lime could do up under them arms.
Hey,
that's a fact.
Hey, with that means if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Get established.
This has been the Get Established Show. We want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. This your guy Big filling in for Shine. Happy birthday, Shine. Y'all hit him up in the chat and get Shine a happy birthday. But we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you being active in the chat. We appreciate y'all just being and supporting the show. We love y'all. With that being said, this has been the Get Established Show. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. Share the video, stream. Don't forget to go to Facebook, TikTok, and stay on this YouTube channel. But share the video because this was valuable information. And I hope y'all had a good time because we did. Good night.